They're demanding justice for Albert Ojwang, a name largely unknown until news emerged of his death in a Kenyan police cell.
Who do you run to when the very people meant to protect you becomes your worst fear?
The reason this young man was killed, he said the police service receives close to 56 billion shillings every year.
When the police station meant to be a place of justice becomes a place of death, who protects you from the police? Albert Ojwang was a young, outspoken teacher and a social media influencer. On a quiet afternoon, while having lunch with his parents, police stormed his house and took him away. No warning, no court order, just fear. He was arrested and taken away from his family and driven more than 350 kilometers far away to Nairobi without any explanation. And the next day, Albert was dead in the central police station, gone just like that without any proper explanation or details. In this video, I seek to break down what happened, the analysis, the verdict, the report, and everything which happened in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. And now let's get into the video.
Guys, if you've enjoyed this video so far, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button and subscribe. These videos take quite a long time to make, so if you could help me out, I'll love you forever. Thank you all for your support. Now let's get back to this crazy story.
If today is your first time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Now let's break down the story. This video is not just a story. It's a question, a demand, a cry for accountability. And why does it seem like we've seen this before in Kenya? Albert Ojwang was having lunch with his family in Homa Bay in Kenya. Out of nowhere, the DCI police office stormed the family house and took him away without any explanation. And he was driven more than 350 kilometers far away to Kenya Central Police Station. And by the next morning, when his father has gone to bail him, he was only given the dead body of the son. And the excuse given by the police was that he had injured himself and that he had hit his head against the wall several times. And that was what caused the fractures and then the death. But the father, upon examining the body, sensed a number of torture and beatings. Now let's get into the video and let's see what really transpired. But if today's your first time, don't forget to subscribe to the video. So after the incident happens, the National Police Service issued a press statement or a press release. Now let's read what the press release says. So it's titled Office of the Inspector General, National Police Service, Press Statement, Clarification on the Death of Albert Ojwang. The National Police Service, NPS, has noted report circulating on social media regarding the death of a suspect allegedly in custody at Central Police Station, Nairobi. NPS confirms that Albert Ojwang was lawfully arrested by the DCI detectives for false publication and placed in custody. While in custody, the suspect sustained head injuries after hitting his head against the cell wall. Now note that and circle that because we'll be coming back to that. So the police are saying that Albert hit his head against the cell wall. Police officers on duty promptly noticed the injuries and rushed him to Mnangagwa Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Now, note this one too. He said he was pronounced dead on arrival at the Mnangagwa Hospital. And it goes on to say that in line with statutory requirement, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, launched an investigation into the incident, and the NPS reaffirms its commitment to upholding constitutional standards of human rights and fundamental freedoms. So this was the first release that they published. Now, this got the people crazy. This got the people just going rampage on the street. So the police came again with another release, properly done, announcing the interdiction of the commander and officers at the Central Police Station, where they claim Albert Ojwang banged his head to death. Now let's read the second statement. Update following the death of Albert Ojwang. It says the National Police Service wishes to inform the public that following the tragic death of Albert Ojwang while in police custody at Central Police Station, Nairobi, and to ensure a thorough, impartial, and expeditious investigation by the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, the Inspector General of the National Police Service has ordered the interdiction of the following officers with immediate effect. Now, take note of this. The officer commanding station, OCS, Central Police Station, the deputy officer on duty during the night in question, the cell sentry on duty at time, all officers who were on duty and who were on duty at at the report office that night, and any other officer found to have been on duty or otherwise involved during the incident. The NPS remains committed to upholding the rule of law, human rights, transparency, and accountability within the police service. Further updates will be provided at the investigation as the investigation progresses. Now, even though all these police people were suspended, the Deputy Chief of Police, DIG Eliud Lagat, who is the principal witness, in fact, he was the one who complained of the tweet and he was arrested. He has not been relieved of his position, or he has not been interdicted. Now, the police came and then issued made a press conference. In the press conference, the DIG of Police, Eliud Lagat, the principal witness, was still in that.
I have a brief chronology of events that led to the death of Albert Ojwang. On Friday, 6th June 2025, Albert Ojwang was arrested in Homa Bay County by DCI detectives for the offense of false publication. Records indicate that he was transported to Nairobi, where he was questioned by officers from the DCI headquarters on Saturday. He was later booked at the Central Police Station at the occurrence book number 136/7/6/2025 at 21:35 hours. During a routine cell inspection, Ojwang was found unconscious. He was immediately rushed to Bagathi Hospital for treatment, as documented at the occurrence book number 9/08/06 of 2025 at 01:39 hours. Upon arrival, he was declared dead. Given the circumstances surrounding the incident, it was necessary to investigate the death in accordance with regulations governing death in police custody, and in line with the statutory requirements. The Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, was duly notified to commence investigations. Additionally, to ensure a thorough, impartial, and expeditious investigations by the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, I ordered the interdiction of the following officers with immediate effects. Number one is the officer commanding the station, that is the Central Police Station, OCS, the duty officer who was on duty during the night in question, the cell sentry on duty at the time, all officers who were on duty at the report office that night, and any other officer found to have been on duty or otherwise involved during the incident. The National Police Service remains committed to upholding the rule of law, human rights, transparency, and accountability within the service. And we will provide all the necessary support to the independent investigative agencies.
The first inconsistency. So, in the press release, he said that, where I ask you to, take note, police officers on duty promptly noticed the injuries and rushed him to the Mnangagwa hospital, where he was pronounced dead. So now, if the police officers promptly noticed the injury and rushed him to the hospital, why suspend these police officers? It makes no sense suspending them. But in the video, he said during a routine checkup, now, routine means that maybe the police came to work. So obviously, when they come to work, they will check all the prisoners. Maybe when it's after 6 p.m., they will check, and then they will change shift. Another police personnel will come. Then the next day, they will check them. That is routine checkup. So which is which? Which one of them is the true reflection of what happened?
During a routine cell inspection, Ojwang was found unconscious.
Did they find out through a routine checkup, or they promptly saw him and rushed him to the hospital. So that's the first inconsistency. Now, consistency number 2 is that why suspend all the police officers who were in charge and leave the primary suspect, who happens to be the Deputy Director General of Police? I mean, he has the power to interfere with investigations. And during all these press conferences, this man was standing right to the DG. Are you sure this guy wouldn't even influence the speech? Because this guy has a high ranking in the police service. And he's a primary suspect and the main complainant. So why allow him to be there whilst you sack those police officers who just kept the president for you? Now, after this press statement from the police, the Law Society of Kenya also issued a press statement. And they were saying that they want the Deputy Police Director, Eliud Lagat, to recuse himself.
So who are these officers? The ones who picked Mr. Albert Ojwang, are they part and parcel of those interdicted? And secondly, those interdicted, we want to know their names. We want to know each and every officer involved so that we can follow and find out what are the due processes that will follow, and we know the individual officers that are being held accountable. We demand an unequivocal commitment by the National Police Service that they will unreservedly cooperate with the investigations undertaken by her POA and provide all necessary access, material and evidence that will fast-track the investigation. We equally call upon the Deputy Inspector General of the Kenya Police Service, Mr. Eliud Lagat, to publicly and unconditionally recuse himself from taking part or influencing the investigations in any way, save for as may be required of him as a potential witness. Mr. Albert Ojwang must not be another statistic that we move on from when the next incident arises. Let us collectively take the pain of his death as the beginning of a necessary and overdue paradigm shift for our country and for our nation.
Now, after this, the father of Albert Ojwang is also blaming Eliud Lagat for being under the arrest of his son.
Wewe ndiwe uliyetumana watu wako ma DCI waje nyumbani, waje wachukue mwanangu ili wamlete Nairobi. Kama mkuu wa polisi, naibu, kwa heshima ambayo ninaheshimu nayo katiba ya nchi hii yetu ya Kenya, pamoja na heshima ninayopatia watumishi wa serikali ambao wanatumikia nchi hii yetu.
He wants him also arrested and being asked few questions about the death of his son. Now, the one thing that everybody was waiting and looking forward for was the autopsy. Because autopsy was one thing that was going to clarify whether indeed Albert Ojwang banged his head against the wall to death, whether he was rushed to the hospital as said by the police in their statement, or something else happened. So the autopsy finally came out. The pathologist found out that Ojwang died by multiple injuries of assault and torture.
Post-mortem conducted on the body of the social media influencer Albert Ojwang has ruled out self-inflicted injuries. 5 pathologists who conducted the autopsy found out Ojwang died from assault and multiple body injuries subsequently.
When I examine the whole, the pattern of the injuries, especially on the head, the bleeds, the hematoma that I found on the head, hitting against a blunt surface, a wall, would have a particular pattern, a frontal bleeds. But the bleeds that we found on the scalp, on the skin of the head, was partially spread on all aspects, including the face, the sides of the head, and also the back of the head. When we tie up together with other injuries that are well spread in the body, including the upper limbs and the trunk, then this is unlikely to be self-inflicted injury.
This was what caused chaos and confusion. After this, the youth stormed out and confronted the police.
Irate Kenyans united in condemnation of the death of teacher Albert Ojwang in police custody. At the Central Police Station, a torrent of chants echoed through the streets.
If Albert did a mistake, let him testify in court. That's why we have court. Okay. Let him testify in court. But what happened between here and Homa Bay, only Albert can tell us. And unfortunately, as I've said, dead bodies tell no tales.
How low was the bar for us to vote an ICC suspect?
Yes.
In consecutive terms, ICC suspect number 1, Uhuru. ICC suspect number 2, Ruto.
Yes.
I am not surprised. I am not surprised that this government is hunting and haunting the dissenters of this regime because they are using the Moi manual. Ruto ni mtoto wa Moi. Amefunzwa na Moi siasa za kuabduct watu, siasa za kuua watu, siasa za kuintimidate watu na siasa za kutumia vijana vibaya. Na sisi tumekataa.
Kama mama amesikia uchungu sana. Kama mama amesikia mtoto mmoja, huyo mama atapata lini mtoto mwingine? Na amekuwa mzee. Atapata wapi mtoto mwingine? Huyo mzee atapata wapi mtoto mwingine? Wakimwambia hapo, wanamtoa kwa boma ya mzazi wake. Walikuwa wanamtoa wampeleke wapi? Tunataka tu huyo askari watuletee hapa. Hatutaki maneno ya koti. Watupatie sisi wa mama. Tutadili na huyo askari.
Which resulted in something else. But in all of this story, there is one thing that is missing all along. That is the tweet that Albert Ojwang made, which led to his arrest and subsequent death. Nobody can trace the tweet as at now, the tweet from X. Nobody can trace it. It cannot be found. Albert Ojwang's X account has currently been suspended and all his social media handles. So a simple check on X for Albert Ojwang's account shows that the account has been suspended and you can't find the account. The man has an answer to that. He's saying that the state have intentionally banned all Ojwang's accounts just to keep the secret that Albert Ojwang posted.
Things have gone wrong here. So many things have gone wrong here. They pulled down Ojwang's social media. I said it, Twitter, Facebook, everything. They have taken control of it. The state has taken control of it. So they'll have to tell us why. We've even been told that the CCTV footage at Central Police were not working. Actually, they were deleted. We are telling IPOA, get us the footage at all costs because we can't negotiate about that. The state is culpable in every way. Actually, let me tell you what. Ojwang was taken live and kicking from his mother's laps in Homa Bay and found dead. The hours are glaring. Ojwang being shaken around 9:30. By around 1:20, he is dead. Those are how many hours? And then the report now, I can give you the evidence from the pathology form field. It's been declared that Ojwang was taken to Baghdadi and declared dead on arrival. Of course, if you hear the stories, how that happened and Baghdadi did not receive him, how did you not receive them, then declare them dead on arrival? If you don't receive somebody, how do you know they are dead on arrival? So there are too many things that need to be answered. Actually, there are 1 million questions to be answered. And I want to ask all Kenyans, help all of us here with information because we want to make this a landmark case.
But IPOA has also launched investigation into this case. So they also issued a press release. IPOA launches investigation into death in police custody. And they say on Sunday, 8 June 2025, and pursuant to Section 71AX of the IPOA Act CAP 86 of the laws of Kenya, which mandate the authority to investigate death and serious injuries at or suspected to have occurred as a result of police actions, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, on its own motion, launched investigation into the death of Albert Ojwang. He had been booked at the Central Police in Nairobi County on Saturday, 7 June 2025. As part of the investigation, the authority has already visited and documented the scene, established contact with the family, and at present, as officers deployed at the city morgue, where a post-mortem examination is scheduled to take place today. Moreover, five officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations have been interviewed by IPOA Investigations and their statement recorded. The findings thereof shall inform the authorities further information to the public on the progress of the investigation and recommendation to relevant state agencies, and in particular the Director of Public Prosecutions in the event criminal culpability is established. IPOA remains committed to conducting investigations that are independent, impartial, fair, and free from influence. So a senator Ojwang let the cat out of the bag. I perceive he saw the tweet earlier before it was deleted or banned. So he's saying that Albert had accused the police service of taking some amount of money in bribes and other charges.
We need to stop killing our children, that we must accept that we are the ones as adults in the house who've been messing up in this republic. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to all of us discuss in this house, and I hear everybody saying, no, let us make sure that this guy is arrested and all. What was Ojwang discussing that made this man kill him? It's corruption. The reason this young man was killed, he said the police service receives close to 56 billion shillings every year. This is the story. This is the big thing in this house. But we are talking about, oh, Ojwang is killed, we need to arrest. This country of ours has to be fixed. And you are the people to fix it. And when we are discussing this thing, you politicize them. You say, oh, it's broad-based. Oh, it is all about those people are the ones who are on the other side. When this thing collapses, all of you will be in the same boat, I tell you. You will hang separately. Because you are the people betraying this republic. The police officers are a consequence of our failure. That is the reality. We have refused to accept that we can fix this country, that we can work together, that we don't have to be tribal, that we can actually act as adults. But we behave like children when everybody outside is crying, saying, where are the adults in the house? I beg you people, let us sit and fix our country.
In a nutshell, pinning the whole situation on corruption in Kenya, which led to the death. Millie Odiambo Mabona, who is also a parliamentarian, has this to say. Now, according to her, if you don't like what somebody writes or says on social media, you only have to block the person. And that's the reason why the block button is there. If you block the person, you are unable to see the person's post. So why can't people use that, but rather resort to arrest by twisting the arm of the law?
For me, it's not even about the fact that he has died. Who gave the order for that young man to be brought to be arrested? For what? If you can't stand somebody, block. Who doesn't know the block button? Do you have to be all over listening to everyone and anyone at every time? I mean, this nonsense must stop. Kenya has come too far. These are things that are done in other countries that we have been condemning. Some around us. Cannot happen in Kenya. We will not allow it. Not in Kenya. Why would you want to kill somebody because they have a different views from yours? And I think one of the things I'm sure you will probably be asking, so let me just tell you, because I've seen when I condemned this, everybody was asking me in social media, but you are collaborating in the broad-based government. You've seen clearly in our MOU, there is no collaboration about intolerance. There is no collaboration about limiting human rights. And that is not the nature of character of our party. And we cannot compromise on our values as a party. And therefore, and we have spoken with the president on this issue, the president himself has said that he will bring to order the people that are in the government that are rogue. And we want to therefore tell the president, please strike your whip on people who are violating rights, because there are certain things that are non-negotiable. And one of them is a violation of human rights. You cannot kill people and expect that life goes on as normal. No, it's not possible. It will not happen. It won't happen. Not on our watch. You will not kill young people and let us expect us to be quiet. I know, and I can speak authoritatively because the president has told me in person that he does not stand this. If he does not, then let him crack the whip. On the
opposition leader Raila Odinga has also tweeted on this and condemning this atrocity. And he said, I have been deeply horrified by a report of a young Kenyan, Albert Ojwang, who was picked up from Homa Bay and driven to his death in police cells in Nairobi over an alleged offensive social media post about a senior police officer. So far, nobody knows who gave the orders for Mr. Ojwang to be arrested and ferried all the way to Nairobi, and yet that person should be answering to Kenyans. Mr. Ojwang now joins the horrifying long list of young and defenseless Kenyans whose lives have been taken too soon in brutal, senseless circumstances at the hands of the police. While the death caused tremendous pain to individuals and their families, they seriously erode authority and credibility of the police and the state, and that is a significant step towards chaos and collapse. When citizens can no longer tell the difference between the two forms of injustice, police injustice and mob injustice, we are staring at the reality of failure as a nation. A speedy and credible closure to this latest incident of injustice in the hands of the police, alongside many others that we have been pursuing since 2023, is not optional. The National Police Service must commit to and take concrete actions to hold their own accountable, beginning with the senseless death of Albert Ojwang. So that was what Albert Odinga tweeted. And finally, when this happens, it becomes a political choice. So the opposition have also taken to the street and chanting, mobilizing people, and also asking that the police brings a finality to this case. So the opposition party in Kenya also went out and displayed all of this, taking advantage of the situation.
Tumepata habari kuna kijana yenu hapa Gen Z ametekwa nyara na kuuawa, si ndio? Huyu Kasongo ako na shida na vijana. I don't know ni nini namsumbua. Anapambana na watoto. Wewe Kasongo, wacha kusumbua hao watoto wetu. Wewe kuja pambana na Rigiji mwanaume ya saizi yako. Si ndio? Si yakuja na pambana na sisi. Apambana na huyu Kalonzo na huyu Eugene. Sasa hivi vijana ya mwaka 20, mwaka 22, hii vita yote ni ya nini? Na imeamuliwa na hao vijana. Jezimbo. Jezimbo. Nyinyi ndio dawa ya Kasongo. Na kwa sababu Kasongo ameamua kumaliza nyinyi na kuua nyinyi, lazima mjipange kabla hajamaliza nyinyi, mfukuze yeye aende nyumbani. Si mko tayari? Unajua huyu jamaa hataki nyinyi mema. Ako na shida na hao vijana. Anataka kuwaua na kuwamaliza. Sasa lazima hata nyinyi mkuwe watu chap chap, mjipange mapema.
Tunakashifu sana hiyo kitendo imefanyiwa ndugu yetu Albert. Na hii maneno ya vijana kuongea kwa mtandao na serikali inawatafuta, inawateka nyara, inawashika, inawaua. Ningependa kuomba Rais William Ruto kwamba tukuambie sasa umetufikisha mwisho. Wewe unashika vijana wetu, unawaua, unawateka nyara, every day vijana tunawapoteza. Ndiposa kwa hii finance bill nimeona wameanza kuweka kwamba KRA inaweza fikia mambo yako ya benki direct.
All of this, some few questions needs to be answered. The first question is that who ordered the arrest of Albert Ojwang? Number 2, why wasn't Albert entered into the OB book? Number 3, why was his family initially denied? And number 4, what happened to the X account of Albert Ojwang? Who brought all those accounts down? Who suspended all those accounts in this short time? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. My name is Kenyan, and if it's your first time, don't forget to like and subscribe. It motivates us to do more video. It's a bye and a wrap for today.